The first time I saw Elena kiss someone who wasn't me, we were at a party celebrating her gallery opening. And I'd gone upstairs to find the bathroom in this beautiful brownstone in Brooklyn. I was halfway down the second floor hallway when I heard her laugh, that specific breathless laugh she only made when she was really happy. And I followed the sound to a half-open door. Through the crack, I could see her pressed against the wall with another woman's hands in her hair, their mouths moving together with a familiarity that made my stomach drop. I stood there frozen for what felt like hours but was probably only seconds, watching my girlfriend of 3 years kiss a tall woman with dark hair I'd never seen before. Then Elena's eyes opened, met mine over the other woman's shoulder, and she didn't even have the decency to look guilty. She looked caught, yes, but also defiant. Like she'd been waiting for this moment. When I turned to leave, she followed me down the stairs calling my name. When she finally caught my arm in the empty kitchen, all she said was, "Natalie, it's different with her." Like that explained everything. Like those 3 words made betrayal acceptable. Tell me where you're watching from. Drop your city in the comments below. And if stories like mine resonate with you, please hit that subscribe button. Your support helps this channel reach people trying to understand how someone can love you and betray you in the same breath. My name is Natalie Chen, and this is the story of how my 3-year relationship ended at an art gallery opening, how I learned that it's different is just another way of saying I want both, and how I had to rebuild myself after losing the person I thought I'd spend my life with. I met Elena Volkov when I was 24 and she was 26. I was working as a junior curator at a contemporary art museum in Manhattan, and she was an emerging artist whose work we were considering for an exhibition. Bold, abstract pieces that somehow captured emotion in color and texture in ways that made you feel things you didn't have words for. The first time I saw her work, I stood in front of one of her paintings for 20 minutes, completely transfixed. When I finally looked away, she was standing next to me. "What do you see?" she'd asked, and I told her the truth. That I saw longing and hope and fear all tangled together. That it made me ache in a way I couldn't explain. She'd looked at me with these intense green eyes and said, "You get it." Most people don't. We went for coffee that afternoon, talked for hours. By the end of the week, we were dating. Elena was everything I'd ever wanted. Passionate, creative, brilliant. She saw the world in ways that constantly surprised me. She made me laugh, challenged my perspectives, supported my career ambitions. We moved in together after 8 months. A tiny apartment in the East Village that we filled with her art and my books and furniture we found at thrift stores. It felt like building a life. Like this was it, the person I'd been waiting for. But Elena had always been intensely private about parts of her life. She had friends I never met, gallery events she'd go to alone, weekends where she'd disappear to her studio and not answer texts for hours. "I need space to create," she'd explain. "I can't be tethered all the time." I understood. Creative people need solitude. I gave her room, maybe too much room. 2 years into our relationship, Elena mentioned a new collaborator. Her name's Sophia. She's a sculptor. We're working on a joint installation for this show in 6 months. Sophia started appearing in conversations more frequently. Sophia thinks we should use more vertical space. Sophia and I stayed late at the studio last night, brainstorming. Sophia gets the vision in a way most people don't. I met Sophia once briefly when I stopped by the studio to bring Elena lunch. She was striking. Tall, dark-haired, with hands that moved expressively when she talked. She and Elena had this easy chemistry, finishing each other's sentences, communicating in shorthand I didn't understand. "She's very talented," I'd said later. "She is," Elena agreed. "We work well together." "The signs were there, I just didn't want to see them." Elena spending more nights at the studio. Coming home smelling like unfamiliar perfume. Being vague about plans. Checking her phone constantly and angling it away when I walked past. Once I saw Sophia's name on a text preview. "Last night was incredible." "When can we ... I'd asked who texted. "Just Sophia about the installation." The deflection had been smooth. I'd believed it because I wanted to. 3 months before the gallery opening that ended everything, Elena started pulling away emotionally. Sex became less frequent. She was distracted during dinners. her mind somewhere else. Is everything okay? I'd ask. Just stressed about the show, she'd say. There's so much riding on this. I supported her through it. Made sure she ate, managed household things so she could focus on her art, gave her space when she needed it. I was being the perfect supportive partner while she was falling in love with someone else. The night of the gallery opening, I was so proud of her. The installation she and Sophia had created was stunning. These intertwined sculptures and paintings that seemed to flow into each other, creating something larger than either could have made alone. It's beautiful, I told Elena, kissing her cheek. You should be so proud. I am. But she was looking at Sophia across the room, not at me. The party after was crowded, full of artists and critics and collectors. I lost track of Elena in the crush of people congratulating her. After an hour of networking and small talk, I went looking for her. That's when I went upstairs. That's when I found her kissing Sophia against that wall, looking happier than I'd seen her look in months. When she followed me down to the kitchen, I was shaking. Not just angry, but hurt in a way I'd never experienced. How long? Was all I could manage. Elena crossed her arms, leaning against the counter like we were discussing what to have for dinner. 4 months. Since we started really working together closely. 4 months. You've been cheating on me for 4 months. Natalie, it's not cheating. It's different with her. Different how? Different because you're not in a committed relationship with me, because we don't live together, because I'm not real. Different because what we have, me and Sophia, it's about more than just physical attraction. We understand each other on a level that's hard to explain. So our entire relationship, what? That doesn't count as understanding? That's not what I'm saying. Elena's voice was getting frustrated. Like I was being difficult. What we have is real. I love you. But what I have with Sophia, it's also real. And I can't pretend it's not. You're saying you love both of us. Yes. No hesitation. Just yes. Like it was that simple. And you think that's okay? To just keep both relationships going without telling me? I was going to tell you. I just needed to figure out how. This wasn't supposed to happen, Natalie. I didn't plan to fall for her. But I did. And I can't unfeel it. So what are you saying? You want to leave me for her? I don't want to leave you. She stepped closer, reaching for my hands. I pulled away. I want to be with both of you. I know that sounds impossible, but if we could just talk about it, maybe figure out some kind of arrangement, double quotes. An arrangement? Elena, you cheated on me for 4 months. You let me support you through this show, take care of you, love you, while you were sleeping with someone else. And now you want me to what? Share you? I know how it sounds. But people do this. Ethical non-monogamy polyamory. It's not that uncommon. It's only ethical if everyone consents from the start. You didn't give me that choice. You just did what you wanted, and now you re-asking me to be okay with it retroactively. You're right. She looked away. You're right. I should have talked to you first. But I was scared. Scared you'd leave. Scared I'd lose you. So instead you lied for 4 months. That's so much better. I know I fucked up. But Natalie, please, I love you. I don't want to lose you. Can we at least try to figure this out? I looked at her, this woman I'd planned a future with, and realized I didn't know her at all. Oh. The Elena I loved would never have done this. But maybe that Elena had never existed. Maybe I'd been in love with an idea while the real person was somewhere else entirely. No, I said finally. We can't figure this out, because there's nothing to figure out. You made your choice when you kissed her the first time. When you lied about working late. When you let 4 months pass without telling me the truth. Natalie ... I'm leaving. I'll get my things tomorrow when you're not there. Please don't do this. She was crying now. Please, we can work through this. You don't get it. I was crying too, but from anger more than sadness. You can't work through betrayal by asking the person you betrayed to just accept it. That's not how this works. I left her there in that kitchen. Walked out of the gallery, took the subway home to our apartment, and packed a bag. I stayed with my best friend Maya that night, sobbing on her couch while she held me and told me Elena was an idiot. The next day I went back when Elena was at the studio. Packed everything that was mine, left my key on the counter, and texted her that I was done. She called immediately. I didn't answer. She texted paragraph after paragraph trying to explain, trying to justify, trying to convince me we could work it out. I blocked her number. For 3 months, I avoided places I might see her. Changed my commute route. Declined invitations to art events where she might be. Maya screened my calls and kept mutual friends from giving her my new number. I threw myself into work, got a promotion, started therapy to process the betrayal. Slowly, painfully, I started rebuilding. 6 months after I found her with Sophia, Elena showed up at my office. Security called up first. There's an Elena Volkov here to see you. Should I send her up? No. My hand was shaking holding the phone. Tell her I don't want to see her. She waited in the lobby for 2 hours. Finally came up anyway, somehow slipped past security, knocked on my office door. I should have called security. Instead, I let her in. What do you want, Elena? I want to apologize. She looked thin, tired. Properly apologize without excuses. Okay, so apologize. I was selfish. What I did was cruel and manipulative and wrong. You deserved honesty from the start, and I didn't give you that. I hurt you in ways I can't fix, and I'm sorry. I know sorry isn't enough, but it's all I have. Why now? Why 6 months later? Because it took me this long to understand what I actually did. To stop trying to justify it and just face the fact that I destroyed something real because I was too cowardly to have a difficult conversation. Are you still with Sophia? No, we ended things 3 months ago. Turns out what we had was more about the excitement of the forbiddance than actual compatibility. Without the art project binding us, we had nothing. So you're here because you're alone and want me back. I'm here because you deserved a real apology. I'm not asking you to take me back. I know I burned that bridge. I just needed you to know that I know how badly I fucked up. I looked at her and felt nothing. No anger, no longing, no regret. Just emptiness where she used to live in my chest. Thank you for apologizing. But I need you to leave now. Okay. She stood, hesitated at the door. For what it's worth, you were the best relationship I ever had. I just didn't realize it until I'd already destroyed it. That's not worth much. I know. That was 2 years ago. I'm 30 now, in a new relationship with someone who values honesty as much as I do. Someone who understands that different isn't an excuse, that loving someone means respecting them enough to tell the truth even when it's hard. Elena and I will never speak again. I've forgiven her in the sense that I don't carry active anger anymore. But I'll never forget how easily she justified betrayal, how quickly "I love you" became "it's different" with her. If you've ever had someone try to make you accept their betrayal as if it were a gift, if you've ever heard "it's different" used as an excuse, if you've ever had to choose between staying and keeping your self-respect, I want to hear your story. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from. And please subscribe to help these stories reach people learning that love without honesty isn't love at all. Thank you for being here, for listening, for understanding that walking away from someone you love is sometimes the bravest thing you can do.